Right? Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakodash, double honors to the apostle, elders, and God doing the work, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Women and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. Yahweh he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, is the deliverer, because he come to deliver so this captivity win. My name is Mark Oliver and Gab and Yasharala, the Church of Philadelphia Camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Forgive me, once again, come back at you with another one. As the title says, the Trump administration, basically, they did the proposes elimination to do away with Section 8 vouchers. And we all know, the main ones are on the Section 8, which is the so-called black woman, the Negro woman, the Israelite woman, all you tribes. And basically it's time for y'all to rise up, man. Y'all at ease, y'all been at ease. Because Esau gave you so many benefits and everything like that. You think that you don't need us, but you actually do. You need the man for salvation. And we need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh for salvation. All right. I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. Matter of fact, I might read the whole thing because it's pretty short. I got a few scriptures lined up, but it says, let's get it. Show you right here. See that? And that's furthermore, Jacob's trouble because you women, y'all Jakes, you know. But y'all been at ease, man, for too long. All right. And furthermore, y'all always talking shit, man. The Lord is tired of it, and your judgment is coming. So your so-called reign of terror, basically, is about to be over. Just having children. That's the taking from the men. When you leave, you're supposed to leave with nothing, man. All right, but Esau gives you a way out. Being as though this is his kingdom, but the Lord is closing the doors on all that. But anyway, it says the potential elimination of Section 8 housing vouchers and roughly 40% cuts to rental assistance were included in the recent White House request to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. You see that? The Housing and Urban Development, which is the HUD, right? And this was May the 5th, 2025. This came out May the 5th, 2025, 1:46 p.m. So of course they're talking about who? You nigga women, man. All right, it says the cuts first reported by NPR target core HUD programs like Section 8 vouchers, replacing them with block grants to states. The White House described the current system as dysfunctional and said the states should be allowed to design their own rental assistance programs based on their unique needs and performances and preferences. Salakia, all right. So they giving the states the authority. Nah, this ain't going to be no whole like the whole government. The government assistance and all that. They done with you, damn nigga women, man. All right. It says the plan. What they did was they piped you up, they boosted you up. Now they about to let you fall on your fucking face. It says the plan will also cap rental aid for able-bodied adults at 2 years for you women that been living in there your whole damn life. You made a career out of jumping from HUD home to HUD home. At 2 years, it says relocating any remaining funds toward elderly and disabled recipients. And a lot of these places is in the projects, man. Those homes. According to the NPR, it says experts warn of housing crisis. See this? Experts warn of housing crisis. It says housing advocates say the proposed cuts could cause a dramatic increase in homelessness. See that? A dramatic increase in homelessness. Kim Johnson of the National Low Income Housing Coalition told NPR that she thinks homelessness could escalate in a way that's been really unprecedented and unheard of. All right, and dig it. They gonna force you out of your homes. That's why they doing this. And that's so you're going to run to them for help. So I told you, go to them and run to Esau for help, and they're going to place you right in one of these re-educational facilities. All right, which is you know the FEMA camps and things of that nature. It says currently only about one in 4 eligible housing householders receives rental aid. Hey, shalom, bro. Y'all some sabrakatah. It says currently only about 1 in 4 eligible households receives rental aid. Cutting that, cutting that really. Come on, man. It says cutting that really feels like cutting into bone, said Olivia, CEO of the National Alliance to End Homelessness. That's because you women is at ease, man. It says Olivia also raised alarms about proposed changes to homelessness funding, which would reduce local control and prioritize short-term shelters over permanent housing. So man, these shelters about to fill up crazy. It says homelessness is a very local issue. She said it happens in people's neighborhoods. It happens on city blocks and in city streets. But whatever. It says shifting burdens to the state, that's what they're trying to do. It says under the proposal, states would have more direct direction over how federal housing funds are used, but less money to work with. So they're about to cut the funding from them. You know, so it's about to be man. These people about to go completely ape shit, for lack of better terms. It says NPR noted that similar block grant programs such as welfare have often been redirected away from direct aid. States could theoretically supplement the lost federal funding with their own resources, but advocates are skeptical. Jessica Kubecki of the Housing Collective in Connecticut warned of ripple effects. Because that's what it's going to have, a great ripple effect. It says she pointed to increased demand for emergency rooms, food assistance, and overcrowded schools. And check this out, man. They're closing down a lot of hospitals, man. Like these women of our nation, they solely depend on Esau's everything that he has, his programs. They think that it's cool. I could get free stuff. I could get this. I could get that, and all this funding. So, like I said, man, the scriptures tell you that you are at ease, man. That's Isaiah the 32nd chapter. All right, you women is at ease, man. But the Lord is about to show you. You were supposed to trust Him. All right, y'all walk past scoffing at us when we're on the highways and hedges. But the Lord is putting a spirit on these women where they know that they're going to need, well, not just any man. They're going to be looking for an elect man in those days, you know. But the Lord already has the women set up for those men. All right, the rest of you ones, man, you'll see, man. Anyway, it says, back in this article, it says they're not sleeping well, they're not doing well educationally. They do not have food. Quebec said of children most in need of assistance. And that reminds me of that's one of Deuteronomy 28. When it tells you these women are going to be eating their children, man. All right, it's going to get that bad out here, and this is going into like a start, of Jacob's trouble for you women. They already started with this ice thing. For you what's that? You northern tribes. All right, and it's going to trickle down to the southern tribes too, man. It's all Israel. That's what they're coming for. All Israel, man. Because this is the last leg that they have. All right. It says our federal budget proposes more cuts. It says the newly released federal budget proposal also calls for eliminating programs that support affordable housing development, fair housing enforcement, and community improvement grants. That's geared towards Jake, you know, because these other nations. As a matter of fact, you do have Jake. That's you know, You do have Jakes that's they're well off, you know. They have money, there's things like that. But this is coming for you raggedy ass MFers, you know, that just make a career off having babies, man. Taking a man's seed, kidnapping and going into these programs and try to cut the man off, you know, out of the family. You can't do that. All right. It says the administration argues that these funds have been misused. See that? Because the women, man, it said these funds have been misused, citing projects like skate parks and concert plazas. In the meantime, COVID era emergency housing vouchers are running out faster than expected due to rising rents. HUD has warned local agencies to prepare for that funding to end as early as next year. NPR added. All right, Lord's willing, it ends for that. But, you know, it says the Trump administration has already pushed out thousands of HUD employees and canceled contracts that support low-income housing. So what's next? That's homelessness. These women are going to be going crazy. All right. Why? Because hey, this is prophecy. You know, you was at ease, man. It says signaling a broader pullback from federal housing support. A report published last month by the New York Times also pointed to the administration to drastically cut Section 8. They kicking you niggas out, man. It says in March, a bipartisan group of lawmakers from the House of Representatives and the Senate introduced a bill that seeks to expand the authority of the city of Los Angeles, announced in March that it has stopped accepting new applications for Section 8 vouchers. Wow. So yo, man, you nigga women is in for it, man. But check it out. Let's go to the scriptures. Grab some scriptures real fast. First scripture, let's grab Isaiah, because this is basically one of the first scriptures I thought about when I started reading the article. I was like, damn, they in for it, man. But the scripture told you, we've been telling you this for years, man. On these highways and hedges, man. The prophet tell you how about Shem Shai, by Shem Chakodash. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 32. I think I was going to start at verse 9. Let's get that. You know what? I think I'm gonna read it in the KJV first. Then we can hop in the NLT. That's from Shalaki. So this is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." And what's that? That's what the men of the Lord been telling you. Stop trusting in these devils, man. You know, because eventually all these programs that they have, because it's only to do is get you comfortable. Remove you far away from your men, making you think, and y'all start humping on each other, thinking that these men, these butchers out here is men, which they not, and y'all shack up in the house and think it's cool, like the Lord's not seeing all these things. And that's why they're taking away these programs from you, man. All right. It says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, and girt sackcloth upon your loins." It says, "They shall lament for the teats of the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." But let's get this in the NLT. All right. This is Isaiah 32 and 9 in the NLT, starting at verse 9 in the NLT. Hold on, I'm trying to see something. There's a point I wanted to make in this one. Anyway, we just want to read right through it. Isaiah 32 and 9 in NLT, it says, "Listen, ye women who lie around in ease." And hey, man, I can say as one of my children's mothers. You know, she lies around at ease. She's been doing it a long time, man. Trusting in these assistant programs, you know, making it seem like she's the one that's getting the money, and it's actually coming from the the government, man. You know, with their aids and things like that. So she's at ease, man. You know, she thinks she have more kids and everything, and they just want to take care of her for the rest of her life. That's the mindset of a lot of these Israelite women that are at ease. Hold on, man. God damn. Salaki. Got put on do not disturb. All right, but that's the mindset of a lot of these women that are at ease, man. You know? So let's read this again. Isaiah 32 and 9 in the NLT. It says, listen, you women who lie around and ease, listen to me. You who are so smudged. In a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care for the damn. And yo, did not that article say uh they said they want to cut this beginning by the beginning of next year. You see that? Yo, the scriptures don't lie, man. Hey, Shalom, my guy. Y'all see my Yo, the scriptures don't lie. We're going to read this again. Isaiah 32 and 10 in the NLT, it says, in a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, for your fruit crops will fail, and the harvest will not take place. Tremble, tremble, you women of ease. Throw off your complacency. Strip off your pretty clothes and put on. It says put on burlap to show your grief. All right, and these women, man, right now, what they you know, they're free to go buy all these different fancy clothes, and because their rent is so cheap, you know, because they got those vouchers, and I'm telling you, like I said, man, they lived there for a long time, man, a long time, man. I know women have been doing this their whole life, all right, but we're coming to the end where the Lord like, nope, it's over, man, and they about to right now, and that's what we've been telling you for the longest time, you know, Salakia. We've been telling you to stop being at ease, man. You know, pay attention to what the Spirit is saying. Pay attention to prophecy. You know, but the Lord has imparted you from wisdom, man. So you think it's a mother effing game, but all the prophets said this before time and they're saying it now again. All right, so this is Micah chapter 7. I think this is it right here. 7, Micah chapter 7, and we're gonna start at verse 7. Matter of fact, let's get down to KJV first. I like to do the comparison because that NLT, man, that's bad. All right. Since y'all say y'all, you know, every y'all at ease when these things come, because Jacob's trouble's coming for all Israel, man. Check this out. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 7. Y'all think what we've been saying because, you know, some of y'all have children by a prophet, you know, and y'all just look at him as a regular man, but not even knowing how the Lord looks at that man, you know, because you knew him before he came into the truth. All right. And you thought that he was going to, you know, you just think it's about ease here in Babylon. You want to raise the kids to be at ease and all that. All right. So, hey, man, your time is coming. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 7. It says, therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the Most High of my salvation. My power will hear me. All right. And that's what we're doing, the men. All right. And you got those few women. Well, it's a lot more women than you think, because you're going to have a lot of women saved, because there's going to be more women saved than men. But I'm talking about you because there's more women on this planet than men. All right. And so you got your elect women, because they're going to be the ones that's going to have to be the incubators for the babies that we put into them to bring back our nation. Lord's willing, be a part of that number. All right. After this destruction. But this is talking about the ones that's just they didn't believe and they talking shit. But we're waiting on our salvation. We're waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Since they couldn't wait, guess what's happening? Everything's being stripped from them. It says, rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. And it's not the so-called black woman, so-called black man's enemy. because she runs the Esau for everything. You know, I don't need no nigga. I could go to the white man and get this, and I got his benefits and all that. Okay, well, you know what? You keep doing that. All right? Because this is going to happen. It says, rejoice not against me. You're not supposed to be rejoicing over the man because he's down right now. We're down because the Lord put us there. All right? We're down. We know that. So we're able to take our punishment. But now it's time for us to laugh. You know what? Matter of fact, I got a few more pieces, but let's keep going. It says, "Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise." See that? When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. All right. So the Lord is He's going to keep us, man. All right. We came out of dark places. Believe it or not, man. Every man that's in His Word, he came from darkness, man, to the light. All right, it says, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. You know, when we go into that word indignation, I believe it's like a trespass, if I'm not mistaken. But you went against him. So let's get that punishment. All right, here we go.
Strong's H 2197. Za'af.
All right. So it says It says raging, storming, indignation. So you gotta bear your punishment, man. We ain't out here looking for no easy way out. We know what we did. All right. Right, you're saying that's right, brother. Rage. All right, it says, rejoice not against me. Oh, I'm gonna read it again. Rejoice not against me, Micah 7:8. It says, rejoice not against me, O my enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. All right. And that's a beautiful thing. Now check this out. Now, because now you could go into that Isaiah 4:1. That's a lot of women that's going to happen here. Because they're going to be seeing the men thriving while they're falling. They're going to be in pitiful cause, man. A lot of these women out here that's at ease, they're going to be in pitiful cause. I believe it was a northern tribe woman. I'm not sure if she went to Dubai or somewhere like that, but she got judged. She got put to death. And I guess she probably was one of them. Well, I don't need no man. I'll just do the at ease and all that. Hey man, your time is coming. Verse 10, Micah 7:10. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. And the day that thy walls shall be built in that day shall the decree be the decree be far removed." All right, so you women, it's at ease. Talking about, ain't nobody coming to save you. No God's coming to save you, and this, that. Okay, well, just wait for it. All right, you keep thinking that, you know, just like the former pope that's in the spirit world now, he said the same bullshit. Ain't nobody coming to save you. He's not coming back. I heard a nigga say that on after this dude from here in Philadelphia passed away on Sunday. What's his name? LGP Qua, you know, and the dude's like, oh, we got to stop the senseless murder. But the dude, he was, you know, he was on his trying to do his rap for against violence and things of that nature and all that. But he fails to realize that you asking all these questions, well, we got the answers right here for you, you know, through these scriptures. And he probably was one of those ones that walked past the camp and everything like that, drove past and everything, scoffing, whatever. But we know the reasons why these things happen. All right, so this is I'm gonna read this in the NLT. This is Micah chapter 7. Let's start at verse 7 again. All right. But they're saying nobody's coming to save us. We gotta do it ourselves. These people out their mind. All right. Like I said, you see with the other articles we just read, going into the section 8 and things of that nature. So they and matter of fact, I got another one, but let me finish this one real quick. This is Micah 7:7. It says, in the NLT, it says, "As for me, I look to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua for help. I wait confidently. See that? I wait confidently for my power to save me, and my power will certainly hear me. All right. So we're waiting for him to save us. All right. And he hears us, man. That's why we sigh and cry. We call out to him. All right. These people, once they start losing it, that's why this article's out. And you got these different women that's in high places in Babylon. They're running to them. Oh, we got to change this law. We got to do this. We don't have enough funding. But you're running to Egypt, man. All right, but check it out. It says, "Do not gloat over me, my enemies, for though I fall, I will rise again. Though I sit in darkness, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will be my light. I will be patient as Yahweh Shem Yahushua punishes me, for I have sinned against him." And these women they couldn't be patient while they're being they're brought to a lower state, because women like the goodies. They want a man with the finer things in life, so to speak. You know, why they sit in these Section 8 homes and try to judge. I don't like no broke niggas and that. These women is crazy. So look, man, look what's going to happen to him. All right, it says, but after that, he will take up my case and give me justice for all I have suffered from my enemies. And the number one enemy is who? Esau, man. All right, you women is right there with him because you join hand with him. All right. It says Yahweh Shem Yahushua will bring me into the light, and I will see his righteousness. Then mine enemies will see that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is on my side. Then they will be ashamed that they taunted me, saying, "So where is Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that God of yours, that power of yours?" With my own eyes, I will see their downfall. They will be trampled like mud in the streets, man. God. So listen, man. And I'm laughing right now because I'm very happy that when I heard about that article and I read it, I said, man, it's about time. These women been at ease for so long, man. You know? Hold on, bear with me. Uh let's go here. Isaiah 31. And let's start at verse 1. All right. Cause that's what they've been doing for the longest, man. The longest. Section 8 homes, HUD homes, welfare. But I mean, sometimes you do have a little fall, whatever, but they make careers out of that, man. Lazy, disgusting, didn't get food stamps, sell them, you know, they get child support and they wanna they don't buy the kids really nothing, man. You know? And they got these low ass rents, you know. Um Shalaki, they got these low ass rents and got the nerve to talk about a man, you know, so they could go out and party, eat all this abominable foods, you know, that the scriptures tell you not to eat, and they look at it like it's a delicacy. That's why the pH balance is all off, man. They stink, you know. With the Lord, the Lord got plans for him. My son used to say when he was a little kid, little boy, he used to play Call of Duty. He's like, I got plans for you. Well, the Lord got plans for these people, man, these women that are at ease. And you seeing it. It says, this is Isaiah 31. And it says, help not in Egypt, but in the Most High God power. All right. See that on top, the headliner? You can see that. I don't know. See, the light is there you go. Light is a little bright. But it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. All right. And the modern day Egypt will be here, Babylon. All right. And that's that help. You know, those the assistance in the homes. And you depend on it. They actually bank on these things. You know, they won't even get a job their whole life just because they got these benefits. All right. But it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and the horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. All right, none of and these women they haven't been doing that. You know, they're not going to do it. That's right, brother. I started to entitle this "The Reign of the Black Woman is Over." It's coming to an end. You know, but they always run to Egypt for help. They running down to them courts, man. They're running to Esau, man, just to try to tear us down, further put their foot on our necks. You know, when it said a woman shall compass a man, you look at these shows, they're all about the women and power and everything like that. You know, that women's liberation. It says, oh, the scripture tell, I believe it's in Sirach. It says, give not the word of passage, nor a woman liberty, roughly paraphrasing, you know. It says verse two, it says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but rise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. All right. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh. What is going into that? But we know the modern day horses and all that, like the tanks, man, and things like that. It says in their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall fail together. All right. So y'all run into these Edomites and all that, man. You know, it's no wins for it because they all going to fall together, man. It says, "Do hand join hand with the wicked; they shall not altogether go unpunished." You know, I'm gonna get that in the NLT. When we went to damn, check this out. This is the NLT. This is Isaiah chapter 31:1. It, excuse me. Excuse me. It says, what sorrow awaits those who look to Egypt for help, trusting their horses, chariots, and charioteers, the ones riding them, and depending on the strength of human armies, instead of looking to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Holy One of Israel. In his wisdom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will send great disaster. He will not change his mind. He will rise against the wicked and against their helpers. For these Egyptians are mere humans, not the Most High power. Their horses are puny flesh, not mighty spirits. When Yahweh Shem Yahshua raises his fist against them, those who help will stumble, and those being helped will fall. They will all fall down and die together. Damn. Dean. Yo, Dean. Yo, that's hey man, you can't go against the Lord, man. All right. And you women, man, going back into we was bringing this out of Kent. What was that? Genesis, the 3rd chapter, I believe. Speaking on you women, how you were beguiled and y'all knew the truth, you know, because Satan asked you, what did the Lord tell you? And you told him, was to the T, exact words, but yet he told you his philosophy and you went with that and went back and took it to Adam, you know? And that's where you effed up at. And because of y'all, we all died, man, you know? And any man that follows after a woman in this lifetime, look what's happening to him. You know, you lazy niggas, man, that want to lay up under this woman because she got this Section 8 home, you know, and you lazy, you just want to sell drugs and all that and think that you just want to come there like that's your crib. Yo, the Lord is taking all that away, man. You know, he's taking all that away. All right, you niggas going to tremble. You know, you niggas is going to tremble. And they going to look at you because that money and everything, man, that's that shit don't mean nothing. It's going to fall right along with its owner, Babylon, man. All right. This might be the last one. Okay. Yep. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1. It's one of my favorite Johns, man. I love the Proverbs. Cause yeah, man, that's wisdom. All right. Proverbs chapter 1. Uh Yo, you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 20 because this is the reason when these things happen, when they're talking about as early as next year, but Lord's willing, it don't go that far, man. You know, they're talking about mass homelessness and everything. Cause yo, you women is at ease, you're gonna lose everything, man. You know, everything that you thought you worked for, you ain't work for shit. It was given to you. And that it was given to you for a reason, just for this time for you to be knocked on your ass, man. And I'm gonna read this right in the NLT, man. This is Proverbs chapter 1, starting at verse 20. Uh the point is in we're just gonna read, man. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20 in the NLT. It says, wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square, and that's what the men been doing. Because wisdom, it says wisdom cries out. What's wisdom? Sophia. These words, the words of Yahweh Shem outside. And the men of the Lord, we always out there, the Lord's will not be a part of that number, out there on the highways and hedges, prophesying the downfall of this place, warning the people about these things that's coming and that's here. You know, furthermore, warning you, you know, to turn back to Yahweh Shem outside, but you can't unless he chose you. All right. It says she calls to the crowds along the main streets, to those gathered in the front of the city gate. All right, and prime example, like this week at camp, man, me and the brothers out there, and we teaching, and there was a white van that pulled up. Now, mind you, we're sitting in front of a Rite Aid now that's closed because Rite Aid is closing all its branches. All right, uh, and this particular Rite Aid, I remember going in there shopping and stuff like that. But since they try to block off our main spot we go to, we've been going here the past couple of weeks. Now we're in a parking lot off to the side, in the tuck kinda, but you can still see us if you walk past. Now the nigga woman pulls up in the parking lot. She don't want nothing. She rolls her window down and try to speak, but I ain't paying no mind. The brothers we just kept teaching, and we teach. She just sitting there. You know, you just want some type of you want some type of recognition for something. You was called you was basically pulled up there to cause strife and contention and confusion. But we didn't give you that. We didn't even give you the opportunity to speak. We just kept going, kept talking. Eventually, you rolled your window up because you wasn't getting no attention. You know, and you just sat there. What were you sitting there for? You know, that's how I know. Like these women, they're losing it. They losing their power, man. It's slipping from them. You know, because once you trust in Yahweh Shem Shai by Shem Rachak you know, that's all you need, man. All right, because the man was not made for the woman. The woman was made for man. And if you go into 1 Corinthians chapter 11, all right, and start about what verse? You start with few. You start about what verse like 6 or 7, something like that, and it tells you that the first woman came from a man. All right, the first woman came from a man. All right, let that sink in. You know, but after that, all men came through the woman. You know, that's just natural order. But the first woman came from a man. All right. So we both need each other because you have to have a woman to be able to produce children to put your seed into. All right. That's what you need them for. That's what they're there for. And you put them to work, man. You know, but Esau, they go to work for Esau and bust their ass for him. You know, and you got these lazy ones with the Lord is he's they about to catch him, man. Their reign is over. But my point is, she was just sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. Eventually, she pulled off and made me think about that scripture in James: "Resist the devil, and he shall flee." All right, that's all she was being was a damn demon, man. All right. Well, I said that to say this, man. Y'all time is up. Your power is over. If you would have had regular ninjas, these YNs, they'd have been all on, oh, hey, what's up, baby? We don't give a damn. Like, yo, we want salvation, man. That's the bottom line. That's the goal. All right. So it says, she calls to the crowds along, back in Proverbs 1 and 21. In the NLT, it says, she calls to the crowds along the main street, To those gathered in front of the city gate, how long, ye simple ones, ye simpletons, will ye insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? You know, that's what we've been asking this. All right, that's right, brother. She is definitely a attention whore, man, amongst other things. But yeah, man, it says, how long will you fools hate knowledge, man? And like, matter of fact, and it's crazy because that was what, Saturday. So this week just past was Mother's Day, Sunday, right? So we're speaking. I wanted to ask the gentleman a question about could you have more than one woman? Soon as I said, "Excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question?" Eve put her hand on his back like to usher him to walk past us. That's simple-minded, and you're following after her, so you're going to get the same punishment that she gets. Because we're out there in the streets crying aloud, sighing and crying, man, warning the people, man, teaching the truth, man. Hey, Shalom, that's a Paul Bong. That's my brother right there. Good brother right there, man. That's watching, man. Brother be going in through the spirit too, man. All right, it says, verse 23. It says, come and listen to my counsel. I will share my heart with you and make you wise. And what's that? Your heart is your mind, your life, man. All right. It says, I call you so often, but you won't come. I reach out to you, but you paid no attention. And that's these women that's at ease. And that's why that Trump administration, look at everything that he's doing. And the HUD is what? The urban, the House urban something like that to that effect. But they're trying to eliminate that, which that's going to happen, man. So you women out there that's and you ninjas too, man. Y'all should have been listening to the words of Yahweh Shem outside while they were freely given. All right, they're freely given now, but and everybody gravitates to what they call the truth, but it's only one truth. And that's the truth of Yahweh Shem outside by Shem Chakodash, which we believe we got from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right, starting with High Priest Rabbi Abba Bivens, man. All right, which we believe to be John the Baptist, man. All right, because it just makes sense when you actually look at it. Before the Lord came back, he turned back the hearts of the father to the children and the children to the father. And with the children, the father is Yahweh. All right, but it says, verse 24 says, I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock I will mock you when distress overtakes you, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when distress engulfs like a cyclone. God damn. A cyclone, that's vicious, man. All right. It says, engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. When they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. For they hated knowledge and chose not the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They rejected my advice and paid it no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, just like these women wearing that crazy ass hair, all these provocative clothes, showing off their bodies. They don't need a man, and they're raising the children to be YNs, man. Putting guns in their hands and all that, man. You got to pay for that, Eve. It says, therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of their living their own way. See that? Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. Because they do be, oh my God, man. These scriptures, boy, you can't tell me this ain't the truth, man. You cannot tell me this ain't the truth, man. It says, for simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency. God damn. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency. But all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear or harm. Damn, man. I'm gonna end it on that, man. That's sheesh. Call on y'all by Shem y'all shy by Shem Chakodash, man. Cause that, and all these things are shutting down. Matter of fact, you got the pharmacy, like we said, mentioned the Rite Aid's closing down. You got pizza parlors closing down. The grinding in Babylon is ceasing, man, on a high level. Soon ain't gonna be no jobs. Then they got computers and um uh robots taking over jobs, man. Soon you're going to go to these restaurants. It's going to be all goddamn robots in there. Like my little sister, she went to some restaurant somewhere. I forgot where it was at, what state she was in. But she did a video on, well, not did a video, but you know how they got the Facebook and all that, Instagram Live and all that. So she was, it was a whole robot that came to her table to deliver her food, man. I was like, wow. She's like, oh, look at this, so cute. No, that shit ain't cute, man. That's showing you like they about to get rid of y'all jobs, man. Even over here in New Jersey now, over there in Jersey, across the bridge from here, New Jersey Trans. It's the first I've ever heard this in my life. They're talking about a strike with them, and they're urging people to start working from home. If you got to commute here to Philadelphia or wherever you commute to for your jobs, if you don't got a car or whatever, they're urging you to work from home. And I think it said it's going to affect over 300,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of people, man. So your calamity is coming, and the men of the Lord is laughing. Especially for you damn nigga women, man. I hope they shut that shit down tomorrow. 'Cause y'all really comfortable in this place, man. All right. Lord's will, I'm gonna stop rambling. Lord's willing, this was edifying. We at the end. Stay strong, stay praying, man. Stay in his word. All right. Don't let no man deceive you and let no man take your crown. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. To us the truth, honors, and citations to the elect. To the next lesson, I'm saying Mawafa Baba Ball and Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.